Hey guys, Brendan here from Team Top Cut, and I am also here with Wilfredo Flores, Team Top Cut member and now national champion of the NAWCQ 2025. So we are going to be doing the deck profile over on the Solo Games YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description. But this is more of an interview of you as a player and now a national champion. I want to get insight into your mind, not just on the deck that you played, but as a player. You know, we don't often get the chance to really sit down and talk to people that have won an event this big. That is something that's context that most players, if not a majority of players, will never have, never get. And I think that it would be really fascinating to pick your brain and see what you think, how you feel. And so we'll go ahead and get into it. First question is game 2 of the finals. You tell your Malice opponent. Malice, the deck that's known for setting up these crazy turn 1 boards that you got to Lancia if you want to stop them. You tell him you go first. Now, go ahead and explain why, but after that I have a follow-up question.
The reason why I make him go first game 2 is because my side deck is really bad into Malice. I didn't expect to see that many Malice. So I prepared mostly for Ryziel. So it's better for them to go first because now they have more Charmies. They have all their Charmies in their deck because they know they're going second. And they take out like GWC going second and all these cards. And sometimes they take out some engine to fit in more. So I thought it was way better to make them go first. And if I draw Lancia, then the game's just 100% over most of the time. And then I have, 8 more hand traps in my deck going second, so.
Now, is this a strategy that you would recommend? Like, let's say Malice somehow survives this ban list. We don't think it will, but let's say Malice does. Is this an approach that you would recommend be done more regularly to Malice, or do you think that this is just like the strategy for the tournament and might not be doing it going forward?
I think for since I'm playing like a worse deck than theirs, and my side deck isn't good for them, I think that was the only way that I could steal a game kind of from them, and it kind of gets them nervous. They get confused. They're like, "What's happening here? I'm bricking now. I have bricks in my hand," and it kind of throws them off, kind of. So that was the only reason. I would never, if my side deck was actually prepared for them, I would never make them go first. That's crazy. I'm gonna go first and make my boards. So.
All right. Well, I know you and I talked briefly about, when I said, I was thinking about telling my Malice player to go second, game 3, day 1. You said that that's what you had been doing. You've been doing this the whole event.
I didn't do it for one match. That was one of the Malice players I lost to.
Okay.
I didn't do it, and I noticed I went first, and I got Fua Perulia, and I was lost. I'm like, I looked, and I'm like, what? I'm setting Imperm against Malice. What is that going to do? So I'm like, well, if I make them go first, they could just break. So that's what I'll do, I guess. I'll just do that and see what happens.
So this is a strategy you came up with mid-tournament?
Yep.
Wow, that's even more impressive. You didn't even come in with the idea of we'll just under-prepare and tell them to go first.
Yeah. It was 1 round later that I played another Malice player. I made him go first game 2, and he just sat there. He's like, oh. And he passed back to me. I'm like, well, that's the game, I guess. And that's what happened, and I just kept doing it all the way up. Every round I played one, I would lose game 1, and I'd give it to them game 2.
All the way up to the finals.
All the way up to the finals.
So let me ask you this. You had been doing this the entire tournament with comfort and confidence, but it's the finals. There has to be some level of doubt of whether or not this is the right decision. What was going through your mind when you made the decision to tell him to go first?
Oh, I knew for a fact I needed to. He draws very well. And I did not draw very well game 1, so I just had to do it. I'm like, okay, let's see.
It paid off.
Yeah, it did.
So, as was mentioned a million times in the live stream, the interviews, this is your first time topping a premier event after many times trying. This is phenomenal, by the way. Well done. Not only to go from having never topped the premier event to winning the premier event of the year, right? And getting a chance to go win the global premier event. This has got to be, I want to say thrilling. Obviously, you're not feeling well. Michael Jordan flu game, right? And, all of us have lost our voice from screaming, you especially, right? But
Not so.
Give me a little bit of insight into just kind of the weight of what you're feeling, not necessarily the emotions themselves. Like, how does it feel, like inside of you, to be dealing with such, you had said it yourself, overwhelming situation?
Oh, it was overwhelming during the match. Right after I won, all the weight fell off. I can't lie to you. I was so happy, and I felt super light. I was like, oh, thank God. Now I'm done. And then I had to go sit for another 3 hours.
You were sick emotionally and physically.
Yeah. So, but I had a lot of fun.
Do you feel like this is something that will become more regular for you, or is this something that you feel was like a Cinderella story? Like they were saying, it's a Cinderella story. Everybody in this room knows how good of a player you are, knows that really this is just when the bad luck finally got out of your way, right?
That's true.
This is what your work ethic and your skill is supposed to create, right? Is this going to be a more regular occurrence?
I truly hope so.
3:35.
All I can see is time. We'll see. So.
I sure feel so. I know everybody in this room feels so.
Absolutely.
Pride and joy of Florida.
Pride and joy of Florida, baby. Next question is, where can we get this shirt?
Oh, anywhere pretty much. Any fishing store, right?
I'm gonna be dropping the link in the description to the Amazon purchase for it.
Hoodies are out. Guy Harvey's in, everyone.
Another thing, and this is something that I actually have a question for you personally as a player. I know a lot of the time when I deck build, I will actually approach both you and Hunter with, ideas, suggestions, or I'll sort of come to you guys as like a last pass on deck lists. I would like to get an insight into you and how you deck build and what philosophies you take to deck building for any deck, not just for Orcust. And then if you want to go into the specifics for this particular Orcust deck, you can.
Well, consistency is key, right? You can't win without your consistency. It's just you have to make sure that if you're playing your deck, there has to be 15 hand traps at least in your 40-ish card deck. It can't be more.
Swerm, ball drink, you right.
Yeah.
You right.
Ball drink is broken. No one can tell me that.
It's easy. Your deck's
But,
30 non-engine.
You right.
That was actually the only reason why I played this deck, was that it was 20 non-engine and 20 engines. So. But deck building's super hard. Most people just net deck, and it's understandable to do. I actually net deck the Orcust deck first, and then I started changing cards around to make it better, and that's just how I do it. You have to start somewhere, and you have to start from someone that won something. So,
Yeah. What would you say was a deciding factor in, like, let's say you went in, you made changes to the deck. What changes felt the best? What changes felt the worst? What felt like an integral, if I hadn't done this, I might not have won the event?
The list that I copy played Nightmare and World Wand. Those cards are completely unplayable. They are not needed. They're only needed for Mitsu Orcust. In this version, those cards are just bricks. They do nothing. They're just trash cards. And what else? There's one more. The IP spot was supposed to be dark before. And then last second, it turned into IP Masquerade. And IP Masquerade did a lot of work.
It came up.
It
It
came up a lot.
And I made a joke about, you could side in 2 copies of Borger, so when you Orcust Link Force steal their Vanquishable monsters, you can bounce it and then reveal Harp Horror and hand to draw one, right?
Yeah,
Dark makes you do that without all the extra hassle, right?
Yeah, that's true.
What would you say was your hardest matchup? What would you say was your easiest matchup?
My hardest matchup was it was against a Ryziel player where I drew Droll, Magnemite, and Druid's Worm, a Crescendo, and an Orcust monster. And first action is normal summon Ice, special star, place tracked, and make duo drive. I'm like, oh, I lost this game. There's no way I'm gonna win this game. And then the guy keeps playing, and then he summons Mirakumo, Prayers tributes it off. I'm like, oh. I activate both, and Mirakumo goes away permanently. I'm like, oh, sick. And the guy makes Ouroboros, and random hits out of my hand, Crescendo. I'm like, oh, that's sick. Twins summons it back. Effect. Hits Droll out of my hand. I'm like, oh. And the guy's just sitting there in disbelief. I'm like, I should never. There's no way I'm gonna win this game. And somehow I was like, I'm done. This is over. And somehow I got it. Somehow I don't even know.
So that's actually something that I do want to elaborate on. I mean, even that finals match, right? Game 3, you were in a losing position, but
The
you know,
entire time.
how many players would have recognized the situation they were in, been like, oh, all he has to do is make an access code this way, and I just lose the game, and then just shake hands right there, you know, decide it's over. Instead, you stuck it out. You were patient, which phenomenal, by the way. Yeah. And what ended up happening was you relied on a Yu-Gi-Oh player to read cards, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Well, you did 3 times, but
But
yeah.
The text changes on the card.
Text changes on the card, of course. So, is that something that you had to develop as a player, like the ability to recognize when a game is a lost cause versus maybe they misplay?
Right.
Or is that something that you just kind of always had?
No, I didn't have that. I used to just scoop when I could see that there's game, I would just concede. But now, playing for so long, I know that people know how to misplay. They know how to give you back the ball. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. So,
what is the number one tip that you would give to a player that, like you, hadn't topped or hadn't won a big event, to get them to the level that you have now achieved as the, once again, NAWCQ 2025 national champion?
you have to be patient, and you have to be diligent. You have to know everything their cards do, always. You can't say, oh, well, I kind of know the card. You have to make sure you read the cards. If you don't know it, you have to pick it up. As you can see, it didn't happen for someone. And it's just the biggest thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Rogue deck is rogue deck. I don't want to read card. Their deck sucks.
I think my favorite thing is when you were in top 4 against the Gem Knight guy. Like the entire crowd was saying, you don't know what the Gem Knight cards do, even though you topped a case tournament with the deck.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, these guys were linking the Willi Gem Knight deck profile in chat.
Somebody brought it out in the chat.
That is true. I mean, you're a guy who's played so many decks a million different ways just to get a hold of it and understand it. I mean, I remember we were all talking about how when you got paired up into the Gem Knight guy, this is the perfect matchup for him. He knows what all these cards do. He knows exactly how to play around it, right?
Now he's going right to the finals.
Straight into it.
So, I mean, that does go to show, you know, work ethic really does supersede luck in a lot of instances. I mean, you're a guy who, I mean, almost an unmatched work ethic when it comes to this game. I don't know if I've met somebody who's worked harder than you to grind to this level of quality and competence. And it goes to show, you too, if you work hard, can become the national champion of the NA region. Last thing, what would you say was the biggest contributor to you personally winning the event, staying on top, staying together mentally, and ultimately coming out with a win?
What's the biggest contributor?
You are so.
I think it was just my friends keep making sure that I'm there, making sure that I'm all cared for.
Power of friendship, baby.
You know what? They be saying power of friendship in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, and it must be true because very clearly we have a national champion who's here because of the power of his friends and also incredible dueling skills. Wilfredo, thank you again. This is extremely well deserved. Look at all this prizing and that glass of water. And Joey, that tall glass of water. Well, you know, is it half full or half empty?
I'm talking about Joey.
Once again, congratulations and thank you.